Hello, and thank you for tuning into this Friday edition of Born to Be a Star. Today is another day and another opportunity for us to remember that we are stars wherever we are, that we are the light in the darkness, and we are going to change the world together, one step at a time. We are what the world needed because the world needed to know that it was full of light, and we are the light. We are going to defeat the darkness, and we are going to do amazing things. Thank you for tuning into this Friday edition of Born to Be a Star. And let's get into the mantra of yes, we can. Yes, I can. Yes, you can. Yes, all of us can. Yes, we can focus on these things. We can get our life together. We can decide we want to do something else. We can venture in different pastures and we can decide different things. Yes, we can. Never giving up, meaning if John Cena is telling children that have cancer to never give up, and he has done the most make a wish things, why can't I say to you, never give up? Never give up on your hopes, on your dreams, on the things that are important to you. If I'm not giving up with polycystic ovary syndrome, knowing that maybe I can defeat polycystic ovary syndrome by changing my life so that I can have kids and I can have an amazing life with my husband, why can't you? If I know that I can defeat anything that I'm battling against to live happy, then why can't you do that too? Life is going to be difficult sometimes, but that doesn't mean we can't defeat it. That just means we can't give up. Just like John Cena said. And finally, why not today? Procrastination and I'll get to it later isn't going to get you there. It's going to get you to forgetting it. So, the way you get away from that is by doing it. Not saying you're going to get to it next week. We have to get away from that lifestyle and that mindset, and we have to just face things head forward, and we can't hide from things, and we have to be different than we were before, and we can do it together. Moving on from the fact that you're a star wherever you are, regardless of where you are in this globe, in this world that we live in, don't forget that you're a star wherever you are. And if you're American and you're listening to this, or you're Japanese and you're listening to this, don't forget you're a star. If you're Italian, if you're Irish, if you're German, whatever race you may be, and you're listening to this podcast, or you're Canadian, remember that you are a star wherever you are. And that together our light is going to change everything. Because light is the only thing that gets rid of the darkness. So let's get into the next part of our conversation, which is one of the best parts of the conversation. It is no media allowed, no media allowed, no media allowed, because they lie to us anyway. Let's get to it. Y'all ready? All right. Up on the docket today is Bill Clinton hiding. Of course, he is hiding. His wife is an abomination of a woman, and even she said she didn't like Kamala Harris. That woman is so annoying. Why did Apple give her an opportunity to go on like any type of way? I don't want to know anything she's doing. And I like Apple Plus, but I just don't know why they gave her any kind of voice. Clearly it's money. So let's not lie about it. It's money. It always is. Just like why Harry and whatever his wife is, or Henry, or whatever those people from the palace are. See, I don't even know what their names are. Just like they went on Netflix and he wrote some whack book that Candace Owens talked about, and it all got debunked. Anyways, I. My God, what is you doing? Okay. All right. Anyways, Bill Clinton definitely had something to do with Jeffrey Epstein. His name is on the flight logs, and he was a part of that group. So I don't want to hear anybody act like Bill Clinton was so great. The only thing that I could say about Bill Clinton, because he is hiding, right? He is. He was a great Democratic president because he knew he couldn't act like Biden's acting right now. So honestly, as as mad as I want to be at Bill Clinton isn't Joe Biden and he wasn't Obama. He was better at this than both of them was, and I'm not so sure that Obama doesn't have anything to do with what's happening right now, because Obama was the start of all the problems with the Democratic Party, right? The cages that he built, the legislation that he built, the crappy Obamacare, the idea that you're punishing me because I don't want to have medical coverage and that you're making us pay for this. We are still paying for that bad decision in 2020, whatever it is. Can we stop acting like, right? Can we stop acting like Obama's so great and Michelle Obama's so great? Now, we both know that Hillary Clinton is awful, and so is Bill Clinton, right? They're just a time, like what he did with Monica Lewinsky, and the fact that they tried to shovel it under the mud and they tried to act like he didn't do anything, and he was the reason why 9/11 did happen, likely. But let's not act like he was not friends with Jeffrey Epstein. And I'm not saying he's Biden, because he isn't. But let's not pretend that the Clintons are like some sort of like amazing group of people. Because they're not. Honestly. Clintons are Clintons. Turtleneck is a wreck. Yo, we got to get rid of Mitch McConnell. He's like a Democrat. He's not a Republican. Why is he still in office? I don't get it. Honestly. Why are we acting like Mitch McConnell is on the side of Republicans when we know he isn't? When we know he has a bad track record? When we know he's supposed to be a Republican and he's fighting against Donald Trump? Like, why do we act like Democrats aren't worse than Donald Trump, right? Do you see what they're saying? Because they aren't saying anything, right? I'm tired of this insanity. Like, Kamala Harris sucks. Biden is worse. Pete Buttigieg is horrible. And the guy from California, whatever his name is, Gavin Newsom, he is not going to be the president of the United States of America because they cannot get rid of Kamala Harris. Because if they get rid of Kamala Harris, that's going to be an equity and inclusion problem for them because they set her up as the vice president. She is the next one to run. And if they get away from that, I don't know how they're going to fix this. But they put themselves in a real bind here, and it's fun watching them try to get away from the fact that she's a horrible vice president. She hasn't done anything with the border, and she has not handled what's happening in Ohio correctly. You want to be there for that Tyree person that died by those 5 black cops that are claiming they're not guilty? They're claiming not guilty, dude. Right? You want to support that family. But are you there for the families of Ohio, in Palestine, Ohio, where a train dumped over massive chemicals where they live? This is where they live, man. This isn't their vacation area. It's their homes. And you're treating Americans a different way because they might believe in a different political idea or party. That's not American. They dropped a ball in Ohio and they can't pick it up. And Biden decided it was important for him to go to Poland and Ukraine on Monday, on President's Day. He's the worst president in the American history. And he will be the worst president to ever be elected into office, ever. And every day I do the podcast and I talk about no media allowed. At the end of the podcast, I'm going to say, today is blah, blah, blah day. Biden doesn't know what day it is. And he's the worst president in history because he is. Like, what are we doing? So what does Pete do? Because he's not a, like, what does he do, man? Because he's not fixing anything with, like, automobiles or vehicles or, like, trains. He said that 1,000 trains derail a year in the United States, and that's horrible. And he's in charge of that. Why would he admit that out loud? I don't get it. But okay. I don't understand it. But okay. I just feel like, why are we giving him a way out? Why isn't he fired for what he's done in America? Like, how many of these politicians get to continue to like have their jobs and they're not doing anything? And why is he getting 9 months of maternity leave and he's a dad? It would be paternity leave and they don't get that much time. So I don't get it. Question mark. Just what's going on? Moving into the next part of the conversation, outside of the fact that Pete sucks and he needs to get fired, how many files are there that Biden has? Because I don't know. And we need to just stop acting like Biden having files in his garage is okay. Like, they wanted to traipse Trump, and now they can't do anything about Trump. And then other people had files too. Why would you think it's a good idea to put any type of file in a car, in a garage, or at your house, or your estate, or wherever you are? Why would that be okay? It wouldn't and it shouldn't. And it's just embarrassing. But okay. Next part of the conversation. New York is dying and no one's doing anything about it. And the person in charge of New York is going to make more people leave. And if you make all the people with the money leave New York, then you're not going to be able to do anything. Do they know that? A lot of people left New York and went to Connecticut and went to other places during COVID anyway, right? People left New York. They went to New Jersey. They went to Connecticut. They went to Boston. They went to other surrounding areas. Some people even went to Florida. Like, if you're remote and you don't have to be at like an actual location job, you can basically move wherever you want. People are leaving California and they're going to Florida. They're like, why am I paying all these taxes for these crappy places and I can live somewhere and not be overtaxed? And it's true. You could have a better kind of a life in a different place that has a different structure. And the prices for things in New York are crazy, and I'm good. And also, New York is dangerous. It's full of crime, full of drugs, and it's not a place I want to be. So, pass. I'm good. And I have family in New York. I spent a lot of time in New York when I was younger. I know New York like the back of my hand. You can leave me in New York, and I'll be able to figure out where I am. I know how to get in taxi. I know how to get around New York. I know subways. I have a Metro card. I'm very, very familiar with New York. But I don't want to go there. And I'm sad because I love it. But it's not a place I want to be. When the rich leave, the Tax Act doesn't work. I just said that. When the people that have the majority of the money in these places leave these places, then you have the place that's taxing people at a higher rate, but the people at the higher rate aren't there for you to tax. So then what do? You start taxing all the other people, like everybody else. I mean, you're not going to tax the poverty people, but you're going to surely tax the middle people. And then once you start taxing those people, what are you going to do when they leave? Because how long are people going to sit there and allow you to rob them blind for all their hard work? We're talking about people that get up every day and go to work, and half of their salary is going to the government, for the government to then tell you you suck and then give all the money to Ukraine and not forgive student loans, not do any of those things. Why are we pretending this? Honestly, it's embarrassing. Moving on to the next part of our conversation. Thank you for tuning in to this Friday edition of No Media Allowed, No Media Allowed, No Media Allowed. They lie to us anyway. Moving into the next part of our conversation. Laughing should be contagious. I've been talking about laughing and how they're trying to cancel comedy and how you have to just look at funny things sometimes and have a great time. You can find comedy on Netflix. You can find comedy on the Comedy Channel. You can just watch some Practical Jokers on TBS. And really, you have to, on True TV, you have to find funny and you have to surround yourself with it. Because life is too short And you could be depressed about all the bad things that we talk about every day, like the politics, and you could just get entrapped in Twitter and everything. But you shouldn't be doing that. That's not smart, dude. Honestly, this is hilarious. I love this show. Oh, good. Laughing should be hilarious. It should be. And you should find ways to laugh. You should tell jokes. You should find a way to entertain yourself. Let letters drown in tears. People that are being hateful and rude and facetious and putting you in a bad predicament, and they're being negative and they are trying to persecute you. We talked about that on Monday. Let them be mad at you and hate you, because you know what? My hater shades are blocking you from my views. So keep being mad, because I don't care. Like, how about you drink a cup full of fuck off and enjoy that? Yeah. How about that? Yeah. All that. People that are hateful, that are doing that. Okay. Oh, it's hilarious. I'm sorry. Like, I'm laughing right now. The haters are gonna hate, but let them drown in their own tears. Like, let them drown in a pool full of tears. I can't believe you're doing this. I can't believe you're doing that. Always talking. Yeah, yeah, we talked about that too. Beige is not the color for wall. I don't know. Something about beige walls just freaks me out, and I don't like it. I'm not. I'm not a person that feels that. Honestly, I can't wait till we move out of this apartment and we get our own property so I can paint all the walls different colors. Like, beige is not for me, and it's so boring. Ugh. No. When's the last time you've been to the park? I can't remember, honestly. I used to go to the park and I used to walk all the time, and we used to bring Benny to the park all the time. He likes going outside and everything. But I can't remember the last time I've been to the park. It's been a long time, but maybe we'll be going more often now since the weather's starting to get nicer. Moving into that, let's get some of this Friday tea, and I don't know, we're gonna have some black tea today, just because sometimes the flavor is really good. Let's just drink it. No sugar, just straight tea from the kettle. Let's go. Um, the woke is going broke. What do I mean by that? These companies are claiming that they're woke and they understand the autocracy agenda that's being played out here, where everything has to be diversity, inclusion, and black people have to be a part of every conversation ever made, even though they're not the majority race here. And we have to talk about the 0.5, the 0.1s, the 0.0000000 group of people that don't matter, that think that they're included in something. Like, are we actually having a conversation about Vietnam? That place is not like mapped out correctly. The people like live in like weird environments, and I'm not saying that they're not people, but I'm like, if you live in America, why are you mad about like where you're from in America? Like, that's the part that's like, why? Like, so going broke where you want to try to advertise for something else, and you want to ignore like values, like normal values of a company and a business. A business is supposed to market to people. The way the business grows is it markets to more people. If you're not doing that, it's not going to grow. It's not going to get bigger. You're not going to have more customers. It's not going to happen. Why are we lying about that? That's what's happening. If we don't fix things, they're not going to get better. Going woke is going broke because nobody wants to see the crap that they're making on Disney Channel, where they're remaking over things that were made already, and they're trying to make it in a woke fashion. No one's spending money on that. And if I could figure out a way to deactivate my Disney, I would do it, but I can't, so it's just there. But and all of these shows and movies and things that they're creating is an indoctrination of children, and it's an indoctrination of normalcy. And I'm sorry, but if you're willing to forget the idea of what a business is and you saying that you want to go woke, be prepared for yourself to go broke. Because it's likely people aren't going to like all this ridiculous stuff. Like for me, I used to like basketball. I liked basketball because I like the actual sport of basketball. I don't really want to hear all these opinions and these ideas and them saying that one basketball player can't make a comment about Jewish people and they make him apologize and do all this ridiculous stuff. I don't like that. Like that's ruining the sport for me. I'm good. I don't want to watch it. And I feel like every year football continues to get more woke too. And now I have to have all this electric car crap be shoved in my face. Always. I don't want an electric car. I can't afford one right now, man. I don't have a job that pays me a salary when I could afford a Tesla. And honestly, outside of the fact that I'm not saying I can't afford a Tesla because I probably can. But what I am saying is that I don't have anywhere to charge that. I live in an apartment, right? And even if I do have a house, then my electric bill is going to go up even higher. So there's that. It's not working, man. It is not working. And you have to pay to charge it. So it's not free when you go to charge these electric vehicles. Going woke is going broke. Moving on to the next part of our conversation. So many shows, so little time. Oh my God. So I'm watching like 5 million things at once. Between watching everything that I'm watching with Skip, we started watching Mayor of Easttown. Very good. Jeremy Ritter is an amazing actor. He's really, really, really good. It's a show about Michigan, and I think that it's a real representation of Michigan, and I really like it. We got back into that. I've been watching my Netflix shows. We watch Hunters on Amazon. Uh, there's the Dark Material show that we have to get to on HBO. There's a bunch of new stuff on HBO too. There's so much to look at right now. Like the list is really long, but there's so many options and places to look at them on. So let the fun begin. Comcast is better than Cox. Duh, it's got better service. Do I like the idea that Comcast wants to tell me that they're giving away their service to free bums? For free to bums? No, I don't like that because me and my husband pay our bill. But I don't care because it's the best service. So honestly, if I had to choose between Comcast and Cox, I'd go Comcast. Also, I like the variety of things that they have better anyway. This is coming from someone that really doesn't watch a lot of cable, but I like some of the channels that they have, and I like the variety of options that they do have available. So you have to have cable. You can't just have streaming and not cable. You have to have one. Moving into the next part of our conversation. Bad connection. Like if you've got a bad connection with your Wi-Fi, you might need to look at getting something fixed with it, or you might want to look at changing or updating it. Reality TV isn't real. We all know that. Like I started watching a show called The Challenge, and it just makes me feel like, what am I looking at? I don't know. Like I'm trying to get into it, but it's just not appealing. Like these reality shows are full of these people, and half the stuff they're talking about is all fake. So I don't know. Like I want to be into it, but I can't do it. So I'm not gonna lie to you. Not for me. Moving into food with Veekstar, berry blast lemonade. I think that would taste amazing, and I can't wait to try it. Stuffed bell peppers. So you chop off the top of the bell peppers. You get everything that's going to go into it. Now, you don't have to just do ground beef. You can do chicken. You can do bacon. You can do chicken salad. You can't really do whatever you want. You can put whatever you want. You can do an Italian combo inside of them. You want to splash in some cheese with some flavor and some layers. You could even switch it up and make I don't know, Thai stuffed peppers, or really any variation of whatever you want to put in the pepper. You could do it. That's what I'm saying, and you should try it. Sweet potato soup. So you chop up some sweet potatoes, right? You want to get a very fine knife, chop that up. You want to get some broth. I say you use vegetable oil or olive oil. You want to chop up some cauliflower. You could just get an entire cauliflower and chop that up. That'd be better than using frozen here. Then you want to Get some regular potatoes too, because this is about to be a potato soup. You want to also get the seasonings, right? So for this seasoning, you're going to use just a few. You're going to want to get oregano, Italian seasoning. You're going to want to get some like Thai, like red pepper seasoning. You're going to want to put a little bit of that in there. You're going to want to do some like ranch, mix that in too. Like this is like a potato soup. Also, you're going to want to get some bacon bits. You're going to want to get some sort of celery or like rosemary. You're going to want to layer it in and build the sauce. Also, you're going to want to get like a cheddar cheese or like a mozzarella, like something that's like easily navigated in the soup. And you're also going to want to get heavy cream. And you're going to want to get not light heavy cream, but real heavy cream, sour cream, and cheddar, right? Then you're going to just mix it and mix it. And also some tomatoes. You're going to want to get some chopped tomatoes. Or you could dice up your own Romano tomato. And you're going to want to use a green pepper and maybe some jalapenos. You're going to just mix that every so often. Make sure it's got the correct amount of broth in there. And you're going to continue to mix in all those flavors together. You could also add in some spicy mayo too. And just continue to mix that. And let that cook. And let all the cheese become cheesy inside of that. I'd say anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half, that'll be completed. And you've just made soup. You can have that for a meal prep or a meal or whatever you want. And you just made soup all by yourself. So why not? Actually, that sounds really good. Man, I want some right now. Meatzza. So instead of making a pizza, it's called a meatzza. So you take Italian sausages or ground beef at the bottom of the pan. And I'm saying you're using a pan here. You're going to layer that off at the bottom. Honestly, I do a mixture of spicy Italian sausages and ground meat or ground beef. Mix that together, put that at the bottom of the pan. Then I get sauce. You're going to want to get an Italian sauce. You can make it by scratch or you can buy it in the container. Put that there. Then you're going to want to do cheese. You can buy fresh mozzarella and chop that up into pieces. Or you can get the sprinkled mozzarella, shove that on there. Then you want to get some bacon, some pepperoni, some ground beef, some mushrooms, some peppers, whatever you want to put on the pizza. If you don't like any of those things and you just like cheese, you can just get cheese too. Shove that on. Then put cheese and sauce on top of that again. Shove that in the oven. Right? You could layer it and make it like a lasagna, or you could just do what I said and make it like a deep dish pizza and add like more cheese and more layers to it. And you just made yourself a pizza, and it's got nothing to do with carbohydrates, and it's very flavorful, and it's so good. And you can make that any day. It doesn't take a lot of time. You can cook that anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes, and it's really good. And it's really flavorful, and you don't have to worry about carbohydrates. So who doesn't want that in their life? Honestly, if I was doing it, I'd do like a veggie one. I'd do mushrooms, peppers, onions. I do pickled jalapenos. I do banana peppers. I do cheese. I do pepperoni. I do ground beef. I do salami. I'd add some cilantro in that. Shove that in the oven. Add some more sauce on top of that with more cheese. I'd load it with a lot of cheese. Put that in the oven. Keto, man. Like, you can stop eating carbohydrates. You don't always have to have carbs. It's possible. Tofu soup. So you're going to need tofu, you're going to need broth, and you're going to use some vegetables. I'd say go potato, carrot, peas, right? That's a great mixture. Chop up the tofu, make sure it's fine and firm. Chop it up into little pieces, get a really nice knife. Then you're going to want to start with a base, so you need to get a broth. I'd start with vegetable broth because you're doing tofu. So you don't really want a meat broth, but if you really do want a meat broth, you could use beef. But I'd say go vegetable. Start that. Chop up the tofu. Add in the carrots. Make sure everything is finely chopped and finely like rinsed and everything. Shove that in. Build in on the sauce. You're going to want to add in the different flavors. So you're going to want to do like fish sauce. You're going to want to do like some like spicy pepper sauce. You're going to want to add in some like seasonings. You're going to want to add in like all these things.
There's no water in the bucket. Isn't that weird? Yeah, it's dry mop. Oh, it's not supposed to take some dry mop. Makes no sense. All right, buddy. You have to say cowabunga. Cowabunga. Guys, you have any garbage you need to take for you? James? James, are you out there? This is James. Come in. An elderly woman passed out in the men's room. Cowabunga.
Honestly.
Anything else, guys? You good? Why isn't there any water in your bucket?
Honestly.
Yeah. We're good.
I think you would like that. So you want to make sure the tofu's all right, and you want to make sure it's got flavor. So I would add tomatoes. I would add the vegetables broth. I would add in maybe jalapenos too, because you want this to be flavorful. Honestly.
Just don't say why you said good. I take it back. I take it back. So you'll.
Honestly. Tofu soup is good. You can mix that with anything you want. You can even add your own broth if you want by mixing vegetables together and making that the base of the soup for the tofu soup. But if you want to just make time easier, go with the veggie broth and then shove everything in there and just let that simmer a little bit. And then you've got yourself another soup. Who doesn't like soups? Breakfast potatoes. You chop up potatoes and you add all the vegetable mixture on. This is where you do cream cheese, bacon, cheese, eggs, put that in the oven. You crack the eggs on top of that, put that in the oven, give that like anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes. And then there you go. You got breakfast potatoes. And I know it sounds like it's complicated, but it's fairly easy. And you can put that in the fridge overnight and put that in the oven in the morning. And then you can make breakfast fairly quickly and very easily and very flavorful. And now I want breakfast potatoes. $1 million spaghetti. Like, you need to make the sauce good, and you need to make sure you have good pasta. Like, the $1 million spaghetti is about the sauce. Cream cheese, heavy cream, mozzarella, tomatoes, diced tomatoes, the, like, onions, peppers, jalapenos, mix it together, simmer it, let it have flavor. Then you add in the pasta and then the cheese again, and then meat or whatever you want into it as well. And that is how you make the $1 million pasta. Anyways, my friends, that, my friends, is the end of the podcast. Thank you for tuning in to Born to Be a Star. You can copy off any of those recipe ideas I gave you. Look them up on your own if you have Pinterest. I recommend you get Pinterest. If you want to have fun with recipes, you can make so many amazing things. They have so many options available there. And you can watch any of the shows that I recommend, and you can eat any of the things that I say. And if you want to follow the mantra of never giving up, yes, I can, and why not today, add that into your everyday thing, and I definitely think it'll make a difference. Thank you for tuning in to Born to Be a Star, and have a wonderful weekend, and don't forget you're a star wherever you are. When somebody tells you that you're not good enough, I'm here to tell you that you are. In the darkness, you are the light, and I can't see without the light, and you are the light. Don't forget, you are the difference in the day, and we are going to change the world together. I will see you same place, same time Monday. Thank you for tuning in as always, and have a wonderful, wonderful week ahead. Bye. Weekend, not week.